looked at him and he said, "You'll never win this election." And Bobby looked at him and he moved forward and he put his finger out like this and he said, "I'll never lose it." And that was it. That ruthless? I don't think so. I think he made it very clear who he was. He was not going to be bossed or bought.
The night that he lost the Oregon primary, it was a very down night. It's the first time a Kennedy had ever lost an election at any time. And I remember went up to his suite in the hotel. It was in the, I think it was in the Benson Hotel in Portland. And everybody was really depressed and down. And Bobby went around consoling everybody and cheering them up and telling them, thanking them for what they'd done and so on. And this wasn't an outward display for the public. These were the people that he worked with and were important people in his campaign. And I remember in the midst of this, one of my colleagues walked over to him and asked him a really stupid question. I forget what it was, but it was something that just was so obvious and inappropriate at that time that I couldn't. That just struck me as being the wrong thing to ask at that time. And he just stood there and patiently responded to the question. And when he was finished, I said to him, why do you tolerate that kind of thing at this particular difficult moment? And he put his arm around me and he said, because I like you, meaning all the reporters. And it was a very disarming thing because the reputation of the man as being so tough-minded and ruthless is the favorite word of the time, that he had a very, very gentle side to him.
There's a story that seems to me to express a very particular thing about him that I think was very admirable, which is that unlike most politicians, indeed most adults, he kept learning after maturity. I mean, most of us bank our intellectual capital when we're in our 20s and hope that there's enough there to live off. Often there isn't. But Robert Kennedy was learning all the time, acquiring new ideas, new insights, new information. He read voraciously. And I remember once a reporter asked him in 1967, some issue had come up, and the reporter asked him his position on capital punishment. And Senator Kennedy said he was absolutely opposed to it in all circumstances. And the reporter said to him, well, that wasn't your position when you were Attorney General, rather challengingly. And Senator Kennedy kind of smiled at him and said, well, he said, that was before I read Albert Camus. Well, that's not a very political answer. You don't find a lot of politicians reading Camus, not just for the information or the pleasure or whatever of reading a serious thinker, but with the idea that perhaps your own positions might change as a result. That's very rare, and I always remembered that interchange and thought to myself, this is a very special man.
The Angels and Rangers, Tuesday at 5:30 on Channel 5.
It's the instant replay of our hottest